Welcome back to some high-level Starcraft 2. The blue Terran player who could have, probably should have, and definitely, if you ask many people, would have been the world champion. It is Maru. Up against the most consistent Zerg player in all of Korea, and I'd argue the world. We have currently hiding in this extractor to get away from Maru's Reaper at Solar. Here on Babylon. This is Wardy's. Oh, there's more! They're multiplying. I'm multi-racks. Anyways, Wardy's Korean Royale, the qualifiers here as these two players battling it out. Already an annoying start for Solar as he's forced to delay his third base. Of course, he might want to consider for longer as more Reapers make their way across. A Reaper opening from Maru in this best of 3. And if you enjoy this early aggression, if you enjoy being reminded of how annoying Terrans can be early on, well, let me early on in this video, this Terran, remind you to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for being here, and check out Wardy as well. But things are already starting dramatically for Maru, who went with his classic. This is his lore-accurate build. We're gonna break all the walls, including the fourth one. It's supposed to be or, Maru. You can't just have 2 barracks and 2 more command centers. It's against the rules. Of course, rules were made to be broken, says every annoying person who wants to say dumb things on the internet. That doesn't mean we have to listen. I say maybe a bit hypocritical in that. But the Reapers are able to slow down the third. Overall, I don't think Solar is particularly annoyed by it, as he still has a comfortable drone count. Maru was mostly covering for his 3cc, as opposed to looking to do damage with the Reapers. You have to respect them, but you don't want to... Don't overreact, as 3 Reapers have not done too much ever since Byung got them nerfed. It is enough, and on Babylon you can wall off on the top of the ramp. Maru's on the correct side of the map, one of the few times that truly matters, the correct side of the map for his add-ons to be protected, not on the outside where they can be sniped off by any Zerg units that are happening by. So, just pulls back into the 3cc. Cloak Banshee with a factory, but then double NG base, so he's just gonna go for everything all of the time. He's got 3cc, he's got bio, he's got cloak, he's got reactor factory, which I think these two are gonna trade places momentarily. Will he actually finish the cloak? Is it cloak for 1 Banshee? I mean, if it works, it works, but if it doesn't work, it looks dumb and like a huge investment that didn't pay off. So, Maru also getting the 1-1 started. Solar already at 54. I say already. I really expected that. I started the sentence expecting the number to be in the 60s. So, a bit of a look before you leap on that commentary. But we do it live, metaphorically. Mostly from replay. But, Solar, 3 bases, going on 4. 2 more gases. Only has the 1 in the main right now. The delayed cloaked Banshee coming in. Slides past the Spore. Eats a couple hits, but killing some drones. Finds the position, the sweet spot, to hit the drones without taking any fire from the Spore Crawler. But, 4 drones here. A dozen more in production for Solar. I think overall, Maru not going to be too displeased with the amount of map control he's been able to gain. So far, the entire build has been focused around denying Solar the opportunity to attack. He has gotten 3 CCs, he's gotten 2 NG base, but with a Cloak Banshee and those early Reapers, Maru was just kind of moderately inconvenient Solar to the point that he just sat back and macroed. But, of course, that's where Solar likes to be as well. Now, Maru picks up and heads to the main with a double medevac. It's only spotted moments before it lands, but still plenty of Zerglings here. Are there any Banelings? Not needed with that amount of Zerglings. Banshee gets back in, a couple more kills. The damage is starting to add up. Maru has only done really superficial damage to the actual units, but he continues to contain Solar on his side of the map. They say the best defense is a good offense, and this is truly a demonstration, as Maru is not committing much, but Solar is still stuck at home. And with 3 CCs done, do we have barracks 6, 7, and 8? Is that the direction we're going? No. A bit more of a flexible build here. A factory and a 4th command center. So Maru not going to lean into the bio units, but instead complement them with the force multipliers from the factory. A different style, but this is the difference, I think, between Beyond and Maru. It is interesting how much Terran players can really show their personality in their play. I think, and here come 3 more racks, but Maru really likes the positional tactical play where he grinds down his opponent and eventually leaves them in a position where there are no good options. Whereas Beyond tries to essentially tire them out to the point where he finds a weakness and dives, goes for the throat. Metaphorically, maybe physically, I don't know. But Maru continues to methodically clean up the creep, continues to force the units back to the left, to the right. We have yet to see a meaningful engagement as flirting around the edges. The Queen's targeting the hatchery here. It's a cancel at that last moment. The Marines, acceptable loss to Maru in this scenario. A few banelings in the front, a couple... Not a bad trade. As Maru keeps trying to contain Solar on every front, but Solar, make no mistake, it is containment. He is not controlling the game. He is simply delaying the time at which Solar is able to counterattack. The question will be, does Maru have enough at home in order to defend a counterattack, or put together a game-ending push? Because now Solar is adding on +2/+2. In fact, he's got it around the same time as Maru. He's got 88 drones, adding a few more, probably for static defense, but that's full for base saturation. The maximum economy with the most supply left for army. He's going to have all of the production. I wouldn't be surprised to see at least 1, maybe more macro hatches as time goes on. But Maru himself is nearly maxed. He's got more command centers on the way. That won't be the end of it. A Ghost Academy will probably be joining them soon. Even the Reapers are still alive, but now that we're maxed out, we've got nowhere else to go but down. Just like the medevac. Hydra takes it out of the sky. Lurker Den is on the way. Liberators, Widow Mines, and now things get more meaningful. We've had the back and forth, they've exchanged heated words and a handful of units. But now the fights will be larger and the impact greater, as they literally can't build many more units than this. No reason to give up more of the map than you have to. Burrow on the way, 2-2 finishing, both sides, +2 weapons already done for Maru. Whole bunch of banelings for Solar, he's rolling in. And those banelings won't be rolling out trying to tank as much damage as possible by leading the charge. +2/+2 done, but the Widow Mine connects onto the Overseer, which wanders over the top of so many Lings and Banes. It takes a few bites out of Solar's army, but doesn't complete the meal. Vipers on the way. Lurker Den is done. Ghost Academy nearly complete. Builds pretty fast. +1 mech armor on the way. More creep filling in. Solar now. Plenty of money in the bank, but so has Maru. That's correct grammar, right? And also, who cares? That, you know what? Forget, edit that part out. The Liberator's covering, well, soon to be a tank line, but not quite set up yet. Solar debating whether he wants to go, but he's off creep with no significant upgrade or really army supply advantage on this side of the map because most of his units are concentrated to the south. Most of his other units. He has enough to potentially break through Maru at the 3rd, but it will be costly. There's already a wall off there, some siege tanks. Speaking of, we have siege tanks to the north side, holding it down with the Liberators to cover them against smaller amounts of units. 4 ghosts at a time as Maru quickly builds that late-game Terran army. Solar is still sitting on the mid-game Hydraling Bane, but the Vipers could make all the difference. The Widow Mines being drawn in, big hits onto the Terran and Zerg armies. A bit late on the Vipers, but he yanks the Liberators out of siege mode. Parasitic Bomb forces the Micro onto the Medivacs, and Maru will be driven away from this position. A comfortable breakout for Solar. It was good, not great, though, as he doesn't have the creep to really springboard into an attack on Maru's outlying bases, and he doesn't have the Baneling count to just roll forward into the army. So he must regroup, he must rebuild, regenerate, but not retreat. There, we finished that. That was profound. Solar maxed out again. Maru, not so much. He's getting 2 command centers. He's adding more Widowmine. Solar has quite a vulnerability to those big damage splash. A couple queens go down, but maybe draws Maru slightly out of position. All the ghosts clustered here. Massive Widowmine hits, though, obliterating the front line of Solar, and that means the ghosts are able to evacuate into the Medivacs and escape. The army getting reduced to mostly ghosts and a handful of bodyguards here. As 12 ghosts on the field, more than any bio unit individually, almost combined. This is the most abrupt. He's very efficiently trading out his bio units for ghosts. Their expiration date is mostly past, though you don't want to have only ghosts. You still want something to kind of absorb the hits in the form of Marauders, usually. The Widow Mines to take out the big chunks of units, and the Ghosts to take out the smaller ones with the Snipe. Ghosts are not bad against Lings and Banes. Their auto attack 2 shots Lings, 3 shots Banelings, and since they're not light units, they don't take extra damage from the Banes. It takes about 5 Banelings to kill them. So individually, still a pretty good trade for the Ghosts, even if they go down. Oh my god! Oh my god, whatever. No. I rarely do this, but I need to see that again. We looked away, the cameraman cut away, because that was not safe for Zerg. 24 kills! A devastating... okay, not a... Oh, this one was accidental. I tried to go to the battle report, but it didn't work. Okay, well, just a third time. It's a reality show now, and that reality is devastating to Solar. I swear that third time was accidental. Jimmy really screwed it up. But some snipes trying to hit the Hydras while the Zerglings close the distance, unable to interrupt. The Lurkers have committed to the southern side, but Maru holds the north. Lurkers, the creep spread. I was wondering where he got the creep. No, it's not a Nidus. He's just pushed the creep all the way to the south because Maru's almost entirely been focused on the north side here. So Solar not slacking. An EMP hits some of the Vipers. Both these players, nearly 1,000 APM on average here. Between them. But Solar at over half that himself, building so many units right now, and clearly keeping up mechanically. In fact, well, there's no distinct... This is actually one of the closest mid-games. And I'd say mid-game, if only because we're not mining out of many bases yet. This is one of the closest mid-games I've seen recently. Maru going toe-to-toe here, but he's not really getting more than half a step forward. If that. Honestly, Solar has consolidated his forces. Let's look at the units lost. Solar's only lost a few thousand more minerals, and he's lost marginally less gas, which is a win for Zerg, as the Terran army is just so cost-effective. But if you can keep it close, as long as it's less than like 50% more, that's a win with the army composition Solar is playing. He's got another 5-10 minutes of income if he's able to keep his bases intact, and he can use that to just overrun Maru. Maru needs to be more cost-effective or win a decisive fight. Those aren't necessarily the same thing. Right now, Solar is holding the line and pushing Maru back. Widow Mines do connect. So many ghosts involved here. Maru's got 18 and counting high-sec auto-tracking, building armor. He just waves the rapid-fire snipes over whatever he can get. Even Banelings. Lurker drops. Lurker drops for Solar. A great move at this stage, as Maru doesn't have that many bases he's holding on to, whereas Solar can kind of switch back and forth. Oh no, he got all the Overseers and the Ghosts! That was what Maru was going for. He realized, and he gets the snipes off. Solar is forced to retreat to build more Overseers. The Liberators weren't even quite in position to deal with this, so Maru struggling against the Lurker drops right now. Whoa. Solar doing a great job of keeping Maru busy. He lost the detection in that last fight. There's plenty of command centers, but there's just not the units. I am loving how Solar is playing this right now. He just seems to keep getting... He's so solid as a Zerg player, besides those few moments when he clearly isn't. But those moments are... Like, when he takes big hits to things like Widow Mines and nukes, it feels like... Yeah, the big weaknesses there for Solar, things that you really should be prepared for, but somehow you're not. But all the little things, he's doing great. The creep spread off on the opposite side of the map as the current fight is happening. The consistently rebuilding bases and counterattacking with small amounts of units. I am really loving how Solar is playing this. It's not like Maru's playing poorly, but he just can't... Yeah, how many times have you seen a player with 21 ghosts feel defensive? Like, in fact, that might be too many ghosts. That... I don't know. That sounds like Terran blasphemy right there. But where are the ghosts? Where are you ghosting? Okay, that didn't work. All right, Maru. He has so many ghosts. Most of the medevacs are on the other side of the map, though. He's committing most of them to the south. He's trying to re-clear the creep. A constant struggle back and forth. I think he's sniping. He's just throwing him out there. Whatever he can hit. At the rapid fire key, you just kind of wave your mouse over like a magical sniper wand. Usually you try to aim for the back line, but if he can hit... It does have more range than auto attack, but here comes Solar, bringing most everything to bear. EMPs connect. No parasitic bomb. I take it back. There was one Viper in reserve. And some of those many medevacs will go down, but the ghosts mostly clumped up here. You hear a lot of deaths dramatically over the action. The Widow Mines he's trying to drag into the ghosts. They will connect onto the Banes and go down themselves, but Solar overall rips apart the orbital command. Another one will likely be gathered, not quite taken down. But Solar is able to push forward, take out a bunch of the ghosts. 14 ghosts have gone down. Maru's actually lost more gas. Still a lot of minerals have been exchanged for Solar. But he's maintaining 200 supply. He's maintaining all of this income. You can see the rising stonks here of Solar's economy. And now Maru starting to... I wasn't sure. I didn't really think about the missing pieces of Maru's army. But the Blue Flame Hellbats, the Hellchads, with their mech upgrades to just immolate the Zerglings. With +3 in Blue Flame, Zerglings die in a single hit. All of them in the entire cone of fire, quite literally. And that is the later game choice that a lot of Terrans have been using, as they do not cost any gas. They're only 100 minerals. They're 2 Marines, and 2 Marines don't do nearly as well at stopping dozens of Zerglings. So they are a very supply efficient and gas efficient way to deal with swarms of Lings, as opposed to adding more bio units. And that's part of the reason you start upgrading the mech throughout. Though maybe a little late added in here. Better late than never, as Maru still has a lot of command centers. We've seen this before. The Zerg wins and wins and wins, and then it seems like they stop making real progress and don't find anything to really counter the army. Still looking good though. Solar really finding these fights. He's got creep over 2/3 of the map right now. Looking quite the Changelings dying to the Hellbats. The Lurkers have almost exclusively been used as kind of like a Liberator sort of unit. The Lurker drops to deal with, to harass the mineral lines and do counterattacks, as opposed to a mainline unit. So many ghosts. Still tanks being added in. Maru has remaxed, but the bank disparity has been is quite significant now. Solar is up to 5k, 3k. This has been a great game out of Solar. Oh, and some ghosts. Oh, catching the medevac. Maru always great about it. Splitting it off, some snipes. You wander a little too close to the ghosts, and you won't be wandering at all for much longer. Solar is taking the 6 o'clock base right now. Oh my. Oh, this is always a great scenario. Well, Maru, not so secure anymore. Never a good sign when your command center is floating over a hatchery. Maybe if you're euthermal, but even then, it's a bit late. Well, again, there's 34 drones at that base. Solar's running out of places to mine with the drones, so we are kind of getting to that stage where he needs to make some decisive fights happen. The ghosts are falling back, trying to stutter step, but they're still all clumped up where the banelings can maximize their effectiveness. Maru forced to retreat, and the ghosts just not really finding much value here, which is the weirdest thing to ever say in StarCraft, in my opinion. But Solar has stayed on this mass unit composition, the true Zerg. Not relying on ultra late game, puns intended, not relying on spellcasters, though a handful of Vipers mixed in always helps. But instead, just overrunning Maru, picking the right fights, and Maru consistently finding himself on the back foot, which is just a very odd scenario for Maru. Solar has been outplaying him in this game, and look at the supply. That was it. That was everything Maru had. That was his army. Where are the medevacs? How do you lose that many medevacs? He lost 27 medevacs? Most games don't even have 27. Oh my god, the blinding clouds are beautiful. EMPs, this could be it. As Solar just runs down the ghost. A single tank is not enough. He tries to abduct it, but you can't abduct it when it's already dead. And the game will go to Solar. What a beautiful... That was a cinematic experience. At no point did Maru really threaten Solar. In the early game, he contained him. He kept him busy. But at the same time, he never really did damage. He never got... He maybe targeted down a hatch that wasn't finished, that was canceled and rebuilt, killed a handful of drones, but never really found a winning fight. At best, a Pyrrhic victory. But that was actually some incredibly solid Zerg out of Solar. I am impressed and concerned for Maru there, who is currently still, despite recent very high-profile losses, aka the World Championship. Well, Maru beat Solar in IM Katowice pretty convincingly, 3-1. And also, Maru, of course, lost to Oliveira. Maru also beat Ragnarok 3-0, but we don't like to condone cyberbullying. But that... So... That looked like Cero. Well, you know, the parts that looked like Solar were the Widowmine hits. Solar has a tendency... He's more of a strategic thinker, okay? The little details like Widowmines and exactly how to micro against them have never been the strong suit. And that's why some games with Solar we've seen turn around with Widowmines or very, very dramatically nukes. He's always got himself in a pretty solid position until one big hit. I think Solar can empathize with you guys on the ladder. The people. Like and subscribe for the people. But where it seems like you look away for a second and then half your army is gone. That's the Solar experience. Except with 500 plus APM of mechanics to back it up. So He usually is able, even when he takes those hits, he's able to recover. But that is the best example I've... Is he just 3 racks? You can't... Ah! Sorry. These Terrans, though. He's just going 3 racks. He's like, I'm gonna show the 2 racks. And then, but... This is exactly like what you do with a proxy Rex Marine. You put 2 racks and then a 3rd rack slightly back. So they think it's just, I say just, with strong air quotes. Just. 2 racks. But the 3rd racks does change a lot. For Marines in the early game push, that means if you pull drones, they probably will have enough Marines to just kill all the drones. 2 racks Marine doesn't have that same effect. Same with 3 racks Reaper. That extra set of Reapers turns it from I'll probably be able to zone out with Queens and Lings to maybe I need Roaches. Or maybe I need a Spine Crawler. Because the number of Reapers grows quickly enough that you can no longer deal with it easily by splitting your forces. It's never easy to deal with, but it's manageable. Like last game when we saw just the 3 Reapers. But the 4th one shows up. And that's going to be a tone shift here. Because clearly this is a longer term commitment. Uh-huh. Solar's like, oh my god. Maru knows exactly when speed's supposed to finish. It's right around that 330 to 340 mark. There is a Reaper jump here, by the way. Which is disgusting. From this angle, you can't tell as well, but on the other side of the map, it's a little more obvious. But yeah, just the Reaper Express escape route, which is quite literally why it's there. And also to mess up your Colossus pathing. That is the Reaper Cliff is 1, for Terrans exclusively, and 2, for Colossi to regret their decisions. Those are the 2 reasons. So we're going 3 racks Reaper into 3 CC. So disgusting. They can't keep getting away with it. That's so many. Oh my. He's got a dozen Reapers. So, and Solar did not build roaches. He's trying to deal with it with just like, oh my god, you can jump there? He does lose a couple, but the Queens are not really in position. He's gonna cover his retreat with some grenades. Not really a clean getaway there. Loses a few. No, okay, well, how bad? How bad is it? It's pretty bad. So thankfully for Solar, and it's good to see that. It's a little disgusting when those Reapers get away with so much, but Maru bit off a lot more than he could chew, and he choked on it. And Solar, it could have been a lot worse. That definitely looked bad there, but now Solar has enough. I do like how Maru, he didn't put the tech lab on the outside, where it could easily be sniped off by Zerglings. He's got it there. It's not really worth committing that many Zerglings to kill the reactors, but if there was an upgrading tech lab, honestly, I'm kind of surprised Maru didn't put a tech lab and then start upgrading concussive shells, or like a fake upgrade, just to try to get Solar to commit, but that's like a diamond level mind game, okay? Right up until Maru does it. So, the disgusting, I mean, the ambitious Reaper push was picked apart, but that doesn't mean Maru's out of options. By no means. He went 3cc behind. A 3cc Terran with no SCVs. Still. Sir, this is a Terran base. You can't be in here. Sir, come back here, sir. Please. Oh my god. Standards are so low nowadays. He gets in, he sees everything he expected to see, which is, whoa, my God. Jimmy, oh my God. Can we calm down? Which is a bit of a Chrono Boost Time Rift portal that just passed over the replay. Stim isn't that fast. Unless you take enough of them. Right, Bronze Leaguers? Fun fact, you can't stim yourself to death. You can only get close. Quality of life. Where were we? Double drop into the main. Solar has plenty of lings because, obviously, most of those lings left over from the great Reaper incursion of the 4-minute mark. Stimming in again. The Queen's taking the brunt of it. It's quite obvious where Maru is going to go with this, but again, Maru just buying space and time as he builds up for a more coherent push. But the Zerglings aren't going to let him just have the run of the place. Even if he is off creep slightly, there's only so many places that Maru wants to go, so we're already well aware of it. Blocking Maru out at pretty much every turn thus far. Very clean pickup there. Terrans have gotten so good. It's still so difficult. That is something that I would like to see in any further RTS, as you know, I've been playing some Beyond All Reason. Looking forward to Stormgate. The pickup micro in SC2, like the dropping Marines and microing in and out of dropships and stuff like that is amazing. But it definitely... Oh my God. Sir, you can't be in here. But definitely there's some room for improvement for people with only 10 fingers, like myself, in my old age. So, I do love to see. It's one of my guilty pleasures, is watching, especially Medevac. But oh my God. Did he turn that into a Baneling in the mineral? I believe he did. I choose to believe. Oh, but here comes Solar. Speaking of Banelings, Maru tried to jam himself into the courtyard here, but instead it's the Death Yard. As the Zerglings close in from both sides, he juggles back and forth. The Zerglings coming back around. Only one angle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gets every single Baneling, but doesn't have the Marines to deal with the rest of the lings. Still, honestly, not a bad trade from Maru. Clearly, 87 Zerglings so far. 13 Banes killed before they could attack. But is there enough to continue this push? Where is Baneling speed? It is done now. Finished in between the pushes here. Will be clear to Maru. They both have a similar economy. A 70-something. Oh, down goes the base, though. Maru denies that mining location, which might be more valuable than killing the drones themselves, at least in the short term. Solar, though, already has another base, though the most vulnerable one on the map. Vulnerable to the low ground, right down the center here. If you have enough units, you can protect it because it's closest to your reinforcements. But if you don't, it's easy pickings for the Terran. That is obviously a lot of locations where siege tanks can be incredibly effective. Blue Flame on the way. Maru not making the mistakes of the past. I take it back. Making some of the same mistake. No, he's getting drilling claws as well as he wants to add in some more of these mech units. Oh God, look, you can drop Marines behind the there's just enough space to drop Marines behind the minerals. A bit difficult to dislodge. I believe I saw Hydras in the production tab. No, just the Hydra upgrade. So no real ranged units to deal with it. Solar has to go by conventional means. The tanks overrun. One down. Getting both. Maru microing into the spot behind the mineral lines. He's jammed himself back there and will be able to take out this hatchery. But Solar, well, okay, it's not good. He needs the Hydras. Without the Hydras, he's not going to be able to compete with Maru's continued production. Right now, Lings and Banes are not cutting it. There's just too many areas on this map that the Marines and tanks can jam themselves into, and without some sort of ranged units on the back line, you're not going to be able to dislodge them. Very simply. At least not without incredible losses that not even Zerglings can sustain. 151 Lings to 66 Marines. Not too bad so far, but the fact that Maru is up 10 supply and he's got better upgrades, and by that I mean he's got 3-3 started. Maru's taking almost no damage at home. I think this is the difference, is Maru is clearly the aggressor here. Maru is on Solar's side of the map getting the damage done, instead of the opposite, as we saw in Babylon. So, Maru takes a bunch of Marines, and even more importantly, Zerglings and Banelings with the binds. Triple drop into the main. This is the moment for Solar. Will he make it, or will he break? He has to defend incredibly cost-effective units on multiple fronts. He's got Hydras, Lings, and Banes, but if he doesn't split his army correctly, he could either lose his tech, his economy, or just both, as well as the army itself. He has less army supply, but he is on creep, and he still has the production and economy for now. 6 medevacs, though not quite 6 medevacs of units underneath. More drones are gonna go down. He can't afford too many losses. They're trying to draw the Widowmine hits. It does a passable job here. On the other side, a single brave Zergling trying to deny the 5th base of Maru. Target fire is beautiful as Maru shuts down the Banelings and manages to get away with both medevacs. They have barely a quarter medevac of HP between them, but that's more than enough. Ghosts on the way. Solar still struggling to reach max, to get close to maxing out, whereas Maru is already there. He's got plenty of production. He's got the upgrades nearly completed. 3-3. Some Widow Mines being dealt with just Overlords, trying to drag out the rest of the shots. Streams through, not nearly enough. Solar knows it before the fight even concludes. Maru solidifies his defenses, and a strong set of attacks are more than enough to break through. That is the Maru we are used to seeing. That is the Maru who can crush anyone in his path, and that is, well, all tied up. All right, how do we conclude this here? Jimmy, can we... All right, there we are. Royal Blood, where we've seen some of the most dramatic games recently. I'm reminded of Cure versus Dark. If you haven't yet, go check that one out. But Game 3. The dramatic conclusion. Maru versus Solar. They've changed colors just to make my life more difficult, but at least it's not a mirror matchup. Where you going? Oh no, this is not even the first one. All right. Well, here we are. Maru jams the racks into the Overlord. SCV ready. We'll see it. He knows. There is not, as air units have slightly more vision than ground units, which means there's a, well, I was about to say there's a chance that Maru doesn't know that this was scouted. Unfortunately, it seems like, well, now he does. In case it wasn't done. Oh no. Oh no. That SCV, that's some Yep. Well, yeah, that feeling where the SCV RNGesus on the side of Maru here. Solar not, I don't know. My Korean translator is off today, but let me try that. Let me try to translate here. And YouTube, cover your ears. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Maru smiles. Or bullshit. Which it does feel like many of the times that happens. Because he committed the drones to kill the LCVs, or at least deny the early Marines, but guess what? Here we are. Feeling particularly undenied as the first barracks, well, enough Zerglings to potentially surround and kill the Marines. Maru, why do you... This is just classic Maru, though. The best times for proxy raxing, according to Maru, are at the beginning of a series, match point, if you just won a game, or even better, if you just lost a game as well. Well, here we are. Oh my god. Well, there weren't that many Marines left, so I think he could have kept fighting it. It feels like even though the racks were scouted, the fact he was delayed that much on the attack is going to be the defining characteristic of the game so far. Solar, despite his exclamations and his, I'm gonna go ahead and say unhappiness with how those SCVs were able to complete the racks. Maru, you can't just build 2 commands. And Maru says, well, I have 3 Marines, so that's perfectly safe for building 2 more command centers, right? Who's gonna stop me? You and what army? And fair enough, as right now, Solar has nothing. He can't really punish this. Solar is questioning why Terran is allowed to do these things. Maru just chuckles. I've been led to after Maru and Beyond's essentially constant banter in the Korean Star League finals. That backwards F symbol is essentially like saying LOL or putting a smiley face. And putting a bunch of them is the same as Lamau. So as you know, LOL means I may have smiled slightly. And LMAO in English emoji translation is I blew air out of my nose slightly. And then XD means I may have chuckled a bit. So it's something like that. Is the translation. So Maru here, Maru's always smiling, but he may have smirked even. Well, we'll see if he's smirking when the Banelings walk up his ramp. Because indeed, Solar is going for a Baneling bust. Maru has a whole lot of Marines. He's getting one. Maru doesn't. He's assuming Solar, because he's Solar, won't cheese him. And it feels like Solar debated it for a while, but is now committing to the all-in. He does have 38 drones behind, so if he just gets to the natural and clears those SCVs, while that isn't the best case scenario, it would be still solid. He does need to do something here. Maru, oh! He sees the Banelings, the Hellions going to work, but the Zerglings are chasing. He's gonna reduce the Baneling count slightly, but not enough to stop them. Oh, he's... Okay, well, he damages the depots. He doesn't want to go before just zoning out with the Banes. He has enough to make a huge difference here, and there's no real factory units to stop him. He repairs some, but he just busts through. The barracks itself is vulnerable. A whole bunch of Marines on the back line, but Solar, with a calm execution of this, he's reduced the SCV count. He even kills the racks here. There aren't quite enough Zerglings to win the day, but 13 SCVs. I believe, didn't this happen in IEM as well? Where Solar just Baneling busted Maru after a early barracks all-in? And Maru held on with like 4 Marines, though eventually died. So the ending of that story was not great for Maru. It was dramatic. Solar just gonna macro it out here. As I think rightfully, so he got everything at the natural, and he got some of the main. So that is more than enough to justify that Baneling attack. Maru, as suspected, I think, greedily, he only built 2 Hellions. And then he was just using the factory for add-ons. Which, if he had built 4 or 6 Hellions, Solar could have been in so much trouble. But instead, here we are. Greedy Maru, getting pushed back under 30 SCVs. In fact, he was down to 14. I'm glad to see Solar punish him, by the way. Like, Maru, oh, he just taps it out. Wow. The lairs are already done. It's, as much as I would have liked to see Maru try to battle that one out, it's unrealistic at best. Maru understands that is a nearly impossible uphill climb. I do respect him at least giving it a shot. But Solar, the better, I think decisively the better player today. I'm very impressed, especially by that first game. Solar's decision-making is macro, and I hope you are as well. Still getting better, these players. And hopefully, my commentary. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out Wardy's tournaments, though not too many. All right. Check out this video Jimmy put up there just for you. And thank you for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck, have fun. I'll see you next time. Stay chill.